Hello everybody, Laura back again. I have been tagged by Brenda's Knots and Loops and Grammy Colleen Crochets. The original tagger for this tag, which is 20 Crochet Questions, was Kristen Crochets. I hope I said that right. I will put all of the links below that you need, including the people that I tag at the end. Okay, so how old were you when you learned to crochet? 19, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. What's the first thing you remember making? First thing I remember making, crochet. Oh, well, of course, the blanket that I chose to do. I think it was Christmas vacation from college, my second year, so I would have been 19. As I just said in the previous question, sorry. Yeah, it's a blanket. I'm gonna pull that out of the laundry room, and I'm gonna show it to you, but not right now. Okay. And then it was a pot holder with acrylic, because that's all I had at the time. The make you are the most proud of and why? My daughter's blanket. It is knit and crochet, but that thing took me a long time, and I had to figure out how to make it bigger because it went from a queen size bed to a king size bed. And I also took the time and the energy to make a pattern on Ravelry. So that, I'll put that link below as well, okay? Number 4, what is the oldest yarn you have in your stash? Are you ready for this? I don't even know what year my mother bought it. It would have been before I was born, so between 62 and 65. That's 1962 to 1965 when she bought it. She was going to make herself a sweater. I still have that. I have that yarn. It's in a bucket in the laundry room. It's not in here because I want to make it into a shawl or maybe a very lightweight cocoon. And that's probably what I will do, is make it a cocoon sweater and send it to my mom. It's not going to be the detailed, that's not the word I meant, fitted sweater that she would have made for herself. But that's what I'm thinking about doing with it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So over 30 years, excuse me, over 50 years, over 57 years is the oldest yarn in my stash. Number 5, knife or pencil. I can't hold it like a pencil. It hurts my wrist to even think about holding my crochet hook like a pencil. I'm a knife holder. Where's my crochet hook? I thought I had one here. Anyway, I hold my crochet hook like this. Number 6, do you prefer boy or Susan Bates style hook? Okay, my grandmother started me with a boy or a hero, I'm not sure which. And I've had a hero I have had a hero in my stash of hooks, but I think I gave it away. So I'm a boy person. I have used what I think I had 1 or 2 Susan Bates style inline. I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't. I'm a boy person. Haha. Favorite brand of hooks. I like the ergonomic soft silicone handled ones that Boy has, but the bigger the hooks get, the smaller space you've got to work with, and that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to my mind. I really am liking the Crochet, I think that's how you say it, C-O-O-P-A-Y. Okay, maybe I've got it wrong, but I got them from Amazon. I haven't done my review video on them yet, though. I haven't used enough of them. So, at this point, it's probably just boy. Except for the one that I tell you guys about all the time. The one I got from Dollar Tree. My purple one. This is a 5.5. So that's my favorite hook. Favorite brand. It's the rounded, pointed, okay, whatever. Boy. Alright, now moving on. So I did 6 and 7, so 8. Favorite hook size or range of sizes. My favorite hook is the 5.5, the purple handle. It's my favorite hook, but not my favorite hook size per se. I think my favorite size is more of an H. 4.5, if I remember correctly. Because I find that I can use it with some 4s, actually most of my 4s, when I don't want my stitches to be big or airy. And then I can definitely use it with lighter 4s and then even 3s. So I think the H is becoming my favorite hook size. So 4.5, 5, 5.5. That's my range. My favorite range. My favorite weight of yarn. My favorite weight, I think, is more of a 3 weight or a lightweight 4. Until recently, I've only really used 4 until the last couple of years. And so that leads into number 10. Number 10, favorite yarn, fiber, and why. If I really got to pick my favorite yarn fiber, it would have to be the Super Wash Merino. Why? I love the way it feels in my hands. I have some yarn that has silk in it, and that's really nice too, and I like the way bamboo feels, but I think the Super Wash Merino is my favorite. I just like the way it feels in my hands. I never was much of a person for wool as a child. I didn't like the way it made my skin scratch. Of course, you know, we're talking the 70s. Scratched my skin. Anyway, feature one of your favorite yarns. One of my favorite yarns. Mandala from Lion Brand. I like the thin weight of the 3. I made a giant star, and I can't even tell you how many points it had anymore. I think 12, but I can't remember. I made a giant star blanket for my best friend, the one I've known for 54 years. We haven't been best friends all those years, but she's my first friend, so she's my best friend. Okay, which crochet item do you least enjoy making? If I don't enjoy it, I take it out. And sometimes it's not so much the item as it is the yarn doesn't fit what I'm trying to make out of it. Does that make sense? Describe my color palette. Purple, any shade. Dark, almost black purple is my absolute favorite shade. But I love all the way down to the light lavender. Pink, all shades of pink. So light pink to medium pink to roses. Got to throw the roses in with the pinks because that's where they belong. So the rose colors and the medium rose and the dark rose and the burgundy. I'm not sure that's the right word. I'm looking at stuff up on my shelf and I'm trying to remember what magenta, all shades of purple, bright, dark, light, all shades of pink, and I do mean all shades. And then after that comes teal. And in the teal, you've got the blue teal, the green teal, so it's blue, green, green, blue. Turquoise, that turquoisey color. That's my favorite shade of teal, but I like all light to dark shades of teal. But it's got to be the right shade. And I didn't mean it that way. It's got to be the right combination of blue and green for it to really be my color of teal. So that's my color palette. What is your favorite crochet hack? I've recently learned how to do the standing crochet and the foundation. I think that's what it's called, foundation. Like the single crochet foundation or the double crochet foundation. Those have been amazing things that I have learned right there to really help me move forward. Let's see, what are number 17? I'm sorry if I'm not giving the numbers on all of them. What are your thoughts on crochet being a trend and companies mass producing it? Okay, knit can be mass produced. Knitted items can be mass produced. Crochet is a series of making knots with yarn or with string or with thread or with, okay? I don't see how it can be mass produced because of that. I don't think it can. I think crochet is going to be one of those things that if they want more on the market, they're going to have to start paying for it, because we're out there, all of us, and even from the beginner on up to the 20, 30, 40, 50 year experience, which I'm not. I'm only about 30 years of experience. We can all produce something that goes to somebody else. And I don't mean that we have to sell it. But if the companies want to mass produce crochet, they're going to have to come find us. That's the only way it's going to happen. 18, feature a pattern designer that you like and highlight one of their patterns. Okay, I have two. Bag a Day Crochet, Crystal, is amazing. Her designs and her tutorials, I started working with about a year ago or so, maybe a year and a few months. It wasn't until later that I found my second one that I absolutely, and I know she's not the one who designs them all, but expressionfiberarts.com. I love the patterns they have out there. There are free ones available. If you haven't checked out expressionfiberarts.com, please do. There are plenty of free ones, and maybe you'll find one you really have to have too. That you might have to spend some money on. Otherwise, go to Bag a Day Crochet. Crystal's amazing. She does such an awesome job, and yeah. So you got my pattern as in written pattern, and pattern as a tutorial. You got both of those. 19. What is the next pattern you want to make? Good question. I've got way too many things started, although I do have a blanket. In fact, I know right where it is. I'm hoping I have enough yarn for it. It's Mijo Crochet, M-I-J-O Crochet. And I believe that is her blog. Yep. and it's the Cloudberry blanket. This is, I've got the yarn for this already. I hope that I can make this work. I'm very, very hopeful on this blanket. Okay, so that's something I know is on my list for this year. Number 20, what is your best tip for beginners? The same tip I gave both my children when they wanted to learn musical instruments. Practice, practice, practice. My grandmother made me sit there in her recliner and do the chain, and she'd tell me how many to do, and I'd do it, and I'd take it to her, and she'd say, well, mostly good. You know, there's a few that are too big and a few that are too small. And I still crochet to this day the same way. But she gave me that yardstick on everything that she had me practice and practice and practice and practice. And I practiced for like well, maybe it wasn't 2 days. But anyway, it seemed like it was at least 2 days. And then my mom took me to the store to find a pattern. And buy the yarn for a pattern so that I could take it back to college with me. So that's my best tip for beginners. It can be real hard. If it gets hard, if you get frustrated, set it aside. You don't need to feel that way about your crochet. If it takes you a long time to learn how to get it to that yardstick, whatever your yardstick is. My grandmother's yardstick was tear it out and do it again. Tear it out and do it again. Until most of my stitches in my chain were uniform. More than were not uniform. And then she says, okay, that's good enough. Now practice the next one. It wasn't the slip stitch I practiced next either. It was the single crochet. I do a row, take it to her, she'd say, okay, that's good, but you need to do another row. I do the next row, take it to her. No, you're getting better, they're getting more even, do it again, made another row, take it to her. Okay, this is good, this is good. I want you to learn the double crochet now. So that is what she taught me. I had to figure out what a slip stitch was on my own. I had to figure out all these years later how to do a treble. I love treble stitches now because I taught myself. And that's practice. That's my best tip. Okay, so Yarny community, I'm sorry to the people I'm tagging that I did not get you emailed. I was just going to do this and just leave it with nobody tagged. Since I got tagged by Brenda's Knots and Loops and Grammy Colleen Crochets, I wasn't sure who to tag. But I have a couple. You, Me, and Yarn, I tag you. And Missy's channel, who I saw in my live today, I tag you. So I will put those links down below so that you can go check them out, and we'll see if they watch my video and decide if they want to be tagged or not. Okay? Thank you for watching. This was fun. Okay. Be safe. Bye bye.